Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, civilians of all ages, what's poppin'? Animated Establishment Townzie, bringing y'all yet another Hero City podcast. Got the gang with me once more. Got my boy Twitchy, Vontae, Portia, Grin, Dustin, all the homies in here. One time for the one time. And appreciate y'all for coming through. I said Sherm too. You know what I'm saying? My bad. I'm sorry. That's my right hand. You know, that's my guy. Nah, got all the Hero City podcast boys, girls in here for another glorious conversation. Y'all know we be in here vibing and boxing. We got a bunch of different opinions this time. You love to see it. Bunch of different opinions. Oh, you know what I'm saying? No, look, listen. I thought that was okay chapters. Yeah, decently, midly, decent.
So are you on the mid side, twin?
Huh? Oh yeah, remember I told you I thought 297 was an entire 7. I said I like 296 more than 297, and not dislike. I thought both of them was You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. I thought both of them was pretty No, yeah, most definitely. That's why I was like, we might have like a little 2v2, 3v3. Listen, it was a boxing session this time. I thought it was alright. It was alright. It's just, you know what I'm saying, the ending of the arc, it just wasn't hidden for me, ma. Just wasn't hidden for me, ma. Like how the whole thing just ended. It was just, alright, bye. Alright, Shigaraki, I come save you soon. It's been real. Okay, goodbye. I did like the what's it called? The chapter before last was the one with Uraraka running around saving shit. I really liked that. That whole Uraraka running around saving stuff. Even if I didn't like how, again, it's kind of iffy to say if this arc really ended, because it's like, is Prison Break part of this arc, or is that his own arc? Because if it's,
I would say it is.
It's his own arc or part of the arc?
I would say it's part of it, just because All For One said in 297, like, I'm attacking today, so it's like it's the same day.
I agree. I would say it's the same arc, because if it was, I would have nothing nice to say if it was different. I would have nothing nice to say, but nah, yeah, same arc. I do like it though. It's still clean.
I think it's not the same arc at all. I don't think it's the same arc at all.
I understand.
No,
I think it's the same arc purely because they mentioned that it happening on the same day, and that he's not giving them time to rest. Now, say the Prison Break was actually like two to three chapters of build-up instead of being a single chapter. I could see that it would be its own arc.
But see, the reason I disagree with that is because Camino Ward and Camp arc was the same time, but that was different arcs.
It was?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like the same?
Well, not the same
day or
same
night.
It
was that the next day or something? I thought it was the same. I thought like they went immediately to look for him.
I want to say it was the next day. Don't get me lying. Don't get me lying. Twitchy?
I believe it was the same day, because Deku woke up from his surgeries, and then I believe Kirishima said they're going that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yes. So.
Yeah, I think
right.
I
don't think that.
I don't think that it matters. It's the same time. I think it's because it's a whole different thing. That's why it's a whole different arc.
Right. That's why it's like if Horikoshi comes out and says, "Oh my god," if they separate and that's the end of the arc, I got mean things to say. I got nothing but mean.
I mean,
things.
I don't really think it matters whether it is the end of the arc or just a continuation of it, to be honest, because I feel like it flows pretty well between one another. So.
I agree with Gucci here because it does seem pretty natural. It didn't seem like it needed any sort of like independent build-up. It kind of fit for me. That's just
I don't know. I think that it could have been done better, but we can get into that when we talk about chapter specifics.
Yeah, no, I feel it.
Like,
sure.
Yes, sir. I'm out here. Yes, sir. You let us see.
I don't know. I think it's one arc though. I don't think it's split. So we still got 3 arcs to kill off All Might, so I'm hyped.
I would say my argument for this being the same arc is that we still don't know what happened to Deku, Endeavor, like tons of heroes. So like we don't even have the complete cooldown from the arc yet. So I still feel like this.
I think it's the same arc too.
Like I think like Wolf said in the chat, it's a transitional arc. Like 296 had the future tense narrator telling us what happened to everyone at the village, what happened here, like specific details. So that tells me that can wrapped down.
That could be added in, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, no, here, but
it still be a different arc.
Right. No. I'm saying that. I think
agreeing with you.
It's a transitional because we had that future present narration.
Yeah.
Telling everything that happened.
No, yeah, he's agreeing with you. I see what you mean. Like, so for like the jailbreak itself will be the transition. Is what you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think this is. I don't think the jailbreak gonna last that long. I think it's about to be.
No, it's. Like it's.
I mean, Shiggy and All For One have already met. So
I need 2 more chapters minimum. Please.
Yeah.
I need 2.
Yeah.
Minimum. I'm fine with nothing more.
It'll have like 1 more, I think. I don't know though. But
that little fucked me up.
No hope. I'm sorry.
No hope. I understand it.
No. Hang on. Hear me out.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that this arc has been bad, but it is a 7, same as Dragon Ball Z. As a whole is a 7. Naruto is a 7. Bleach is a 7. They are good.
You throwing out these 7 like the lottery.
Whoa. Sherman's the perfect nigga. Yeah,
Shonen
nigga to argue with.
7.
You said what?
He's the perfect nigga to argue with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
7.
Just start calling all these great series at 7.
Yeah.
No.
I don't feel too bad about him rating my series a 7. Then cool. Thanks, Sharon.
Well, you said Berserk is a 7?
No. That's Breaker.
So 7 to me is good. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 is mid, 7 is good. These are good series. I respect everything that they've done. They have great moments, but they also have low points, and it ends up balancing out to around a 7. Like I'm not trying to say MHA is bad when I give it a 7. I'm saying it's right up there with the others, but it's not consistent in its greatness like other things have been.
Twin.
What's up?
I'm mad at this nigga because he's using my argument that I used to use niggas on One Piece. Like a 7 isn't bad.
It's not. I said this chapter was a 7. This most recent chapter, I said it was a 7. Somebody was in the comments like, it wasn't even bad. I see what you mean. I was like, I didn't say it was bad. I said it was a 7. I got the arc at a 7. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad at all. It's dope. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's not NBA.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But it's dope.
Yeah, like it.
So real quick.
So y'all know me.
First,
so y'all know
you
me.
said. So you're saying all of My Hero is a 7, or just this arc, or both?
The arc, and I think as a whole, it's around a 7.
Nice.
But speaking of this war arc in particular, I think that the JJK Shibuya arc
blew it out of the fucking
is better, hands down. And
I can't wait till I get in that.
And this takes a lot for me to say.
Ooh.
But the elf invasion in Black Clover blew this out of the water.
No, it didn't.
What?
Elf wasn't bad.
Elf wasn't bad.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Elf wasn't bad.
You had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
You had all the chips, and then you just couldn't walk away from the table.
I don't know about that one.
No, Sharon was right. Elf arc wasn't bad though.
No,
it's
Elf
not
was
bad
great until they.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Until they stop letting people die. That's when.
Yeah, like.
What do you mean? Stop letting people die? Didn't nobody die up to that point?
I mean, start. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like it, because for me, the elf arc, it was great, and then it steeply fell off. Like, and we hit a cliff, and we just dive bombed.
I don't think
that's why I'm like, I can't agree with you with the elf arc.
Before we go too far down this Black Clover rabbit hole, I don't think the ending of the arc was bad. I just think that everything afterwards was.
What?
Right.
What?
The subsequent arc.
Yeah, y'all know how I feel about after that.
Like the wrap up and everything, and the transition was handled poorly, but the actual elf arc itself was great. But
honestly, he just needs to kill characters off. Then you can get a good story.
He needs to stop playing the boy who cried wolf. If nobody's gonna fucking die, then don't say, "Oh shit, he might die." Why?
No, I mean Black Clover is a serious enough story.
Wolf said Fairy Tale Clover. Oh, Oh no!
Not again.
That JJK that JJK arc is a 9 and it's pending a 10 depending on how it ends.
Oh,
that's how it is.
Exactly that.
Exactly
That.
Chapter.
That shit is different. That shit built different. That shit built different.
Is that good?
That shit built. I said it's built different 12 times. How many times we gotta say it for you to keep asking if it's that good? But back to the My Hero. Back to the My Hero 296 though. I still like that. No, you good. We be trailing. Nah, I still like 296. I still like 296 more than 297. The whole Uraraka going. I actually, me and Sherm got a box about this chapter too, because like there was a few. Well, not about the whole chapter. There's just a few things that I know you didn't like, and I was just like, I really like that. It's like I know Uraraka goes saved everything, and then all of a sudden there was this one random hero just like, yo man, I'm gonna need to find me a new job, bro. It's like I know you.
Yeah, I really like that.
I love that part.
So
because it's a reflection of how there's doubt implanted inside.
I wanted Sherm to speak on why he did he would have liked it more.
So I absolutely understand what that was trying to show, but for me personally, I would have liked it better if instead of a random no-name hero, it was a hero that we knew, like Native or the Forearm hero that like Tetsu and Kirishima interned under, someone who we already are connected with, having a crisis that could then affect other characters that we know and like, rather than this random character who we don't know. It would have hit harder for me.
See, I disagree because I feel like with it being a random hero, it shows you that a lot of other heroes that are like him are feeling that way, which are the bulk of the hero society. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
which I can understand that there are just a lot of characters that just aren't being utilized.
I feel that, but I feel like I wouldn't like all of the named heroes we like straight no. I don't think they would say that. I don't think they would go down that route. I think it makes sense that it's this random no name hero because he's not in your All Mights, your top 10s, your kitty cats. He's not a part of those. So it's just like while I do think yes, it actually would hit harder if it did that. It's just like the heroes that we already know. I don't think that one of the heroes that we know would actually do that. You know what I'm saying?
So
right,
how many
just imagine if it was such a loss this war that we would have seen that happen, that we would have seen heroes that we know question.
So I think we might actually see that with a couple of students.
Mm-hmm. That small person,
if I'm being honest.
They're about to drop out of your way.
Yeah. Like, with the Midnight thing,
exactly.
Again, it's something small, but we don't know who actually killed her. The kids don't know who killed her. We can't explore any.
Well, does it really matter?
I know exactly who killed her because it was there, and I've been saying it for fucking months. I hate all y'all.
It was who? No. It was the guy with the mask, but we don't know who he is, and the kids don't know that it was him. Like, so we can't explore them trying for vengeance, trying to hunt him down. We can't explore any of that. See it taken in a different way with Ida. Like, they're just going to try and move on.
Revenge? They ain't learned nothing from Ida?
No, it's different now. Like it.
Death.
When,
I understand.
Like,
it's death.
You can see right, and I can watch someone go through a situation, see how they handled it, and be like, "That was bad." But when I'm put in the same situation, I might find myself falling into that same pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but because they don't know who it is, we don't even like get that option on the table for them.
See, but it's like they don't.
That's just something so small.
But what's stopping it?
In the details.
I understand it, but it's like what's stopping like Horikoshi like a while from now? It's like we could just the dude could pop up and be like, yes, I killed her too.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, like
I feel like that's an opportunity that hasn't been missed. Like he could have thrown it right there, but I don't think it's a complete missed opportunity. I don't think it had to happen right there.
No. I'm just saying it hasn't happened. I would like it to, but because it hasn't happened, I'm still just mad. If it ends up happening, then I'm going to like it as a whole.
I understand.
But weren't you saying on a previous podcast, Sherm, that you were against the whole heroes taking out revenge on the villains?
No, I was saying that I didn't want Deku to kill Shigaraki, and I don't think heroes should kill. If someone were to go and seek vengeance, they wouldn't be a hero anymore. But seeing that fall from grace is an interesting concept to watch and read about.
I feel like you could do that with a couple of the kids, but that would just get redundant if you just have. Well,
I mean,
even the 4 of them that were there.
It's probably going to happen with Tokoyami and the Hawks, or at least I really hope it's going to happen.
I think it will.
Because that would be the easiest way for it to happen.
The revenge type thing with Tokoyami, that's what you're saying? The fall from grace?
No, him just kind of going off on his own, just doing
right, and questioning
vigilante
because the number two hero who he has interned under multiple times killed a villain. Like, it's unacceptable. He might have just Tokoyami coming to terms with that could go a lot of different directions, and I would like to see that explored.
No. So how many people do you think will go vigilante? Or like, who do you think will go vigilante?
From the kids, from the heroes?
I don't know about the heroes, but I mean, I guess that more for me that depends on how society views heroes, because heroes might not just be gone after this. There's obviously going to be a slow decline. That's just apparent, but like, it depends on like how they immediately start feeling. It depends, like, because we gotta wait till after like the prison break, all the news breaks, and then we see everybody is when I'll be able to get that answer. But I can see like for the foreseeable future, I can see like Tokoyami, and I think that's it, low key, like, until we get more information, though, obviously.
Right, and as I've been saying, after in the whole post arc, the wrap up, I really want to see all these PLF members that have just been fodder, but are just actual citizens going around doing protest, trying to change society's mind, like actively going in the streets.
I think it's coming. I think that. Yeah, right. I think we all think that's coming.
I want it to. I need it to happen.
Lives matter. Villains' lives matter.
Well, then they dropped that political party for Trumpet, like the Hearts and Minds.
Right. Yeah. And they dropped they name dropped that in 297, but those two things were my small issues in 296, and then the big issue that I had was just the info dump by the future perspective narrator Deku, because based on that chapter, I know that the scans said as in there's going to be more deaths announced in the future. The official does not, and it doesn't make sense for the future perspective narrator to only give us partial information. So in my mind, that information should have come in a present tense from like newscasters saying, we know this is what has happened so far with these heroes. But the fact that Gran Torino was still alive, like, that's like, come on.
Which I think he's just alive for now, similar to the Night Eye situation.
I'm about to say, we didn't see Gran Torino in the last few
chapters. Yeah, so that's actually
right. But he's not on the death list, which is speaking from the future perspective narrator, who is giving us full facts on the aftermath of everything.
I mean, he could be about to die.
I mean,
I don't think that's everything.
He did say that things got worse, but they didn't specifically say that these are the deaths. Like,
he could, but no, he could. I mean, I was about to say, like, Night Eye wasn't immediately dead; he was dying.
Right,
that's why this guy could be dying, and we just don't know what. We don't know what type of. We don't know what type of situation he's in right now.
Right.
We know he don't have any lungs, bro. His respiratory is gone.
Also brings me to the reason why I think that this Prison Break arc is not a separate arc and it is part of the war arc, is because we didn't actually get a full wrap up with like you said, Torino, Endeavor, Ryukyu, Aizawa, most of our big arc.
That's why it's like I don't think it's possible for us to go by I don't think we didn't need the information right now, because it's like, for one, whatever happened didn't happen yet. That's why it's like, if he might die, you know what I'm saying, it's something that may happen. He might die. He's not obviously dead yet, but it's like, we haven't gotten the emotional scene from what's it called? No, we haven't gotten an emotional scene from what's his name, Gran Torino and Eraserhead, and that's Eraserhead.
Right, and I understand that he needs that, but having partial information presented in a future tense from an omnipresent narrator doesn't make sense. That information should have just been presented in a different way. I don't like how it was given to us.
That's fair enough. A counter argument I'd make is that you could oversaturate it with all of the heroes that all died all at once, and then you have the certain fans or of the fandom that only care about one death. This way, you can kind of pace it out.
Right.
I would
pace it out in the
I'm halfway with what you're saying, Twitchy, because
from the narrator.
I'm halfway with what you're saying, Twitchy, because like if he'd have said all of that information right then and there, I would have absolutely thought it was another arc, because like, all right, we got all our wrap up and boom, we're on another arc, and then I would have had even more mean things to say.
But also, it would take away from any possible future like moments if he had already mentioned that these are the people that died.
Right.
Like, so take away from the entire future.
Right. So I'm just saying the information shouldn't have been presented, or it should have been presented in a different way. I'm not saying it should have all been given to us.
No, I understand.
Here, I'm just saying it should have been.
Okay.
It's just like delivery. Yeah. Delivery is a
right. Yeah.
That's
he completely brought the delivery for me, which I understand. That's my own personal thing.
That's what I should say about the end of like the fight. The end of the fight is like that whole all of that. The delivery for that was just I just didn't care for it. The Sensei with the raid, the 28, my boy, Big Sin. Go and follow Sin if you ain't following Sin. You feel me? Go and follow Sin. Appreciate y'all for coming through. We talking the most recent chapters of My Hero. If you ain't caught up on My Hero, listen, man. I appreciate you for coming through. I appreciate you for coming through nonetheless. I appreciate you, buddy. If you don't want to get spoiled, you might want to get fuck up out of here. But I appreciate y'all for coming through. Appreciate the raid. It's got like 4 followers. DJ, okay, not jamming. Urahara got a goated in here. Hey.
Yes, sir.
Why you sound like Obito? Why you capping? Why are we just capping right now? Why are we just capping? It's not true at all. But I appreciate y'all for coming through. I'm sorry, I don't know who I cut off, but continue.
Oh no, I was like this. Those 3 things, one were just what really bothered me about 296, which can be picky, but it's the details that take things from good to great.
Yeah. So everybody got their opinion.
I do like the panel that they said that Shigaraki was brought back to life because of his dreams and hatred. And yet in
that was
like that was
interesting.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that was interesting. Yeah. You continue. I was just saying that was interesting. Appreciate you, Sin.
Yeah. I also like the fact that I also like the fact that this is something really hilarious, which is. We've seen this. Darby's hair is now black again.
Yeah, I feel that was. I think that might have been a low key mistake. That might have been a low key mistake. What's happening?
Twin, I'm gonna be right back.
Oh yeah, do your thing, bro. Appreciate you.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that might have been a.
That was.
Horikoshi.
Yeah, it was definitely an artist error. Like
it's possible it was a mistake, but I just think it's funnier if it's not.
Listen, all I'm saying is spray on hair dye is a thing. I've used it. Spray on hair dye is a thing. He might, you know what I'm saying? He might have had a little can, you know what I'm saying? Click.
I mean, who knows? This man must have put hair dye while he was trapped inside, inside the bubble, while he was shrunk.
It's possible. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. What chapter was Dobby in?
What was that?
Compresses with the heroes, or is he with the heroes?
Well,
is he
not? So Compress and Gigantomachia, and I think and someone else were captured, but 297 specifically stated that Gigantomachia wasn't even at Tartarus yet. So,
I'm just saying, which panel did we see Dobby with black hair? I forgot. I remember seeing
it, but I really don't
remember. The last panel.
What chapter was that?
Last page.
Well, that was 296. That was 296 or 297.
296.
296.
Last page. Last page.
How the fuck they get him out the ball if Compress not there? Or
I think it might be like a proximity type of deal.
That makes sense.
If the marbles aren't close to Compress, they just kind of go back to normal.
That would be cool to be explained, but no, it's not a big deal. That's not really a big deal. But no, I was thinking that it might have been a thing. It was like if they had Compress, they might not have been able to get Dobby out of that ball. But I guess that it's just not a thing. Okay.
So one thing I want to mention is that they did say that the obviously the PLF were captured, Reed, Gate, and Trumpet were also captured, and in like as we move into 297, the one thing we know is that they have Compress, Gigantomachia, and who else do they have? Do they have Skeptic?
G10.
My guy, man. My guy.
Where's Spinner at?
So here's the thing.
Spinner's with the
transporting these villains. They're now going to be transporting these villains to Tartarus the next day, when on the same night Tartarus doesn't exist anymore.
Wait, what?
So in 296, Dustin, they show like a helicopter with like these, I guess you want to call them like these metal prison cells that they're airlifting off of the battlefield. But Grin was saying that if they're attacking Tartarus that same day, and we know that Machia is showing up the next morning, they're essentially going to be bringing all these prisoners to a prison that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like All For One should probably have a plan to get Machia in them.
Too. Yeah, like I don't understand why he's attacking now when like they aren't there, because if they're being held now, they can just be held somewhere else. Like they can see Tartarus is gone and just take them somewhere else to hold them.
I think he just thinks it's more important to reunite with his original body than it is to reunite with Machia.
Oh no, yeah, I agree with that. I just want to know. I am tired of this flip-flop ass nigga off.
Okay, Townzie, I'm glad you said that. I only have one more thing to say about 296, and then we can get into 297. I really enjoyed the fact that Uraraka was the hero that saw the doubt of the pro-hero society, just because it keeps going back to that line, like, who saves the heroes? And she could not save that hero from his despair. Like, I need a new job. Time to hang up the cape.
Yep. Fuck up out of here, guy.
Yeah, that was
You're weak, Sasuke. That's all I'm saying. You're weak, Sasuke. It couldn't be none of my heroes saying that shit.
Yeah. I also like the fact that, here's the thing. Throughout the series, we've only heard of Tartarus, and we haven't heard of any other quirk-filled prison, like any other prison specifically for quirk individuals. It's always been Tartarus, right? Now, I'm not denying the possibility that there isn't another, prison for quirk individuals.
Which I doubt.
There obviously might be, considering how big Japan is.
Definitely.
But I am going under the presumption that the cops and everybody are essentially transporting these villains to Tartarus, and they don't have the information that we have as the readers, right? So when I feel like as they're transporting the villains and whoever to Tartarus, they're going to be assaulted by AFO. They're not going to see.
That was like my original. That was like my original thing that I was saying, and then like I didn't think it was gonna happen no more. That was like the original thing that I was thinking. It was like, man, but it's like the original thing that I was saying is already like halfway not there anymore. I was just thinking like initially whenever like if like I just thought they was gonna break out. That's halfway in my original. I thought they were just gonna pull up, break out, like what I'm saying, chase people with the convoy. It just immediately, that just didn't happen. But I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it at how it happened, like what you saying though. But continue.
And Gigantomachia operates on morale, right? Like that's his entire thing. That the more morale he is, the more like stronger he is, the more he can operate. So what better morale than have two All For Ones on the street?
Yes, wild. having 2 All For Ones on the street. That was somebody in the comments that was just like really upset that the fact that there really might be 2 All For Ones out here, and they're just like, that might be overpowered. And it's like, but what about the people that was mad at Six Quirk Deku or whatever? So it's like, yeah, that's gonna be overpowered. Yeah, shit's gonna die. Shit's going bad. But I feel like what he was saying is Horikoshi like right himself in the corner, and then I just a lot of stuff I disagree with, but it just it's crazy seeing like the amount of different opinions on like this arc and the end of it. It's wild.
I feel like this is the perfect place because heroes are down for the count. They've been injured. They have no idea that this assault is happening, and what better way for All For One to wreak chaos and change hero society overnight than free the people they just captured.
Literally overnight.
That's why it's like I would like that's why it's like that would be dope, because like not only do you free him, it's like we don't know what fucking All For One is up to, so it's like now, so y'all know I'm flip-flop mode, so I was like now so I forget, it was somebody that brought it up in the comments, I probably edited the fucking, but yeah, somebody in the comments was saying that Shigaraki might murk All For One here and now, and it's just like I like that I like that idea.
Let's cover 297. Yeah, yep.
We're on 297. That's what I'm saying. It's I just think that's a thing that could happen. That's something that might that'll surely reel me in for the end of this arc. That'll reel me back. That'll reel me the fuck back in. But just because it's like I would want not I would want. I think what I imagine. Is like the whole point, because we know he's like, all right, you're supposed to be the next me, you're supposed to be the next God. I want to be I said God, fucking devil, demon, whatever fuck he called himself, Satan. He was like, you gonna be the next one. It's like you be the whatever. I don't matter. I don't care what he actually called himself. It's Demon Lord. He's like, you'll be the next one. So obviously he's not gonna tell people his actual plan. So he could want Shigaraki to kill him. That could be the final piece of the puzzle, and I like that. If he wants Shigaraki to kill him, that'd be the final piece of the puzzle. I need that in my life.
But it seemed like he taking over his body.
Exactly.
So
exactly. I think that's what Horikoshi wants y'all. Well, not y'all. I think that's what he wants people to think. I mean, that's what I've said for a while. I just think he's on some like older misdirection shit.
Niggas ain't gonna believe that shit. Niggas, if he could dead ass take this nigga body, y'all niggas think I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I just don't want the Orochimaru shit, man. I don't want. I'm good.
So
if it's done, it didn't add anything to like what already happened. So it's like I'm just good on it. I'm just whole plot point. I'm just good. It's not gonna make me hate my hero, but
to me, the reason that confirmed that he taking his body is when he said, if your will still gets done, then you know you should be happy anyway. Yeah, he said some shit like that. That's what he said.
You know what I think? I don't think he's gonna take his body more. I'm actually with Mayor on this one. So.
I think he's gonna try to. I think he's gonna try to. I don't think he's gonna.
I agree. So I think this conversation between Shiggy All For One and All For One the original, I think it's gonna shed a lot of light on the confusion that Horikoshi's been peddling this whole arc. What is All For One doing? Is he looking to take him over? Is he looking to set him free? Is he looking to be a parasite? Is he looking to be a symbiote? Is he looking to be the Demon Lord? Is he looking to be the person who set up the next Demon Lord?
So I actually have a theory for all of that I ended up like discussing with a friend of mine, which is if we go back to 295, which panel is this? There is actually a set of panels where just before Shigaraki leaves, All For One is like, heart is power. The more you give into your hatred, the more my power will consume you. And then that actually connects to 297, which is when he says, you're not a pawn, you're actually the future me. And he also says that he wants to become the greatest demon lord of all time. Now, from what we know of the entire callback between him and his brother, we know that in the story, the comic book that All For One and his brother used to read, the Demon Lord actually took over the world, right? And we know that All For One right now has kind of like a body that's not perfected. What better way for All For One, the person, to go down as the greatest Demon Lord of all time, other than like just just imagine this for a second. Imagine if Shigaraki and All for One fight, yeah, and it's seen publicly, right? And when Shigaraki ends up killing All for One, what better way for all the villains to, one, respect Shigaraki immediately since he killed All for One. Two, All for One going down in history as the greatest villain of all time for training, currently the greatest villain of all time. And three, that would secretly help. That would actually help All for One gain more control over Shigi's consciousness, because All for One, the entity, is implanted as a parasite within Shigaraki's mind. One thing I was thinking is maybe with All for One, the person getting killed, we might have like a perfected Shigi, All for One, whatever you want to call it, where Shigaraki's consciousness and the All for One consciousness merge into one single being.
The first 3/4 of that I was actually about to say, I just forgot who cut me off. But what's it called? The portion where All for One is doing it to further like make Shigaraki's brain fucked up so he can infiltrate. That's more of the where it's like I'm gonna need the next few chapters to figure that out. But the first few bit I was actually, so that's what I was getting into when I was saying that he killed Shigaraki. I don't know. So somebody ended up talking. Somebody ended up saying some words. But no, I agree with the first 3/4 of that. Nobody? Hello, friends? We still here?
No.
I'm just thinking there's so many different ways he could go with this. He could have like All for One literally just stick around like All Might and be the mentor for Shigaraki, who now has the original All for One quirk, teach him what quirks to steal, teach him how to prioritize quirk usage.
Right, but
I don't think that's
All for One and All Might had that whole conversation where All for One is like, I lost
your chance to
go
die
already, blah blah blah.
Like, yet he's still here.
So for him to come in and be a successor now just feels like, then why was that whole conversation there prior? So honestly, I'm just tired of All for One. I wanted this arc to be another victory for Shiggy, and it's feeling like a victory for All for One right now. And I'm just like,
if he murked that nigga, it's a victory for my guy. That's what I'm saying. That's what I need. I just want that, man. I think it's time. He's been annoying for All for One for the past 10 chapters. Get the fuck, dog. Right. I got your power now. Fuck out of here. I'm the evil nigga now. I'm the demon lord. Get out my face. I need that.
Right.
I need that. So, I need that energy. You don't need to say exactly what I said, but I need that energy.
That was kind of my thoughts on 297. And then also I just thought that people were really thirsty for this no-name villain that just got introduced.
Huh?
Like,
I got a prediction for him.
Hey man, listen. I'm part of the thirsty gang.
Girl.
It was still a 7 out of 10 chapter, but I'm part of that thirsty gang. So listen.
I got a prediction for her name.
What's happening?
Gaia.
The Fierce Knight?
Gaia.
No.
I feel like
nobody got that. Nobody got that. Sherm, you ain't get that reference. Nobody. It's just me. Alright, cool. I'm only Yu-Gi-Oh nerd in here. Great.
Mother Earth. Yep.
Gaia.
No.
What are you knowing?
Gaia.
Can you say why, or are you just gonna keep saying no?
Oh.
Fish flakes.
For one, like that doesn't even represent Gaia at all.
We'll keep talking. Why do you say no? I don't know why. I want to know why she say no. I just want to know why.
Because it doesn't represent Gaia.
Oh, I can tell you that it does.
Well, can we?
I feel like the pick is either hack or override.
Didn't y'all? Didn't neither one of y'all want to explain? You know what I'm saying, please.
Okay, I can explain. I was just waiting to hear why she didn't like it.
No, I said doesn't represent Gaia. You didn't. I said explain.
What is it?
He was about to, and you said no 8 times.
All right. So should I explain where I got that from?
Absolutely.
Okay. So at the start of 297, there are 2 pro heroes fighting side by side with a lot of those robots for the front gate of Tartarus, named Gygus and Briarios. I butchered that.
I did too.
I did. So I was looking up, and Horikoshi, and this is what I was hinting at in the Discord earlier, he is going with a Greek mythology motif here, and I am all for it.
Shout out Greek mythology.
Not this again.
Well,
So
yeah, like,
I'll just read you. Yeah, exactly.
Again.
So Tartarus,
What do
the
you mean
infernal
again?
regions of ancient Greek mythology. The name was originally used for the deepest region of the world, the lower of the two parts of the underworld, where the gods locked up their enemies. Now, those two names, Gygus and Briareus, are the names of two hecatonchires, which are entities that have 100 hands and like 50 heads. If you look at those two heroes, they have 6 arms apiece. And then in addition to that, they have a third brother named Cottus. Cottus was the name of the anti-aircraft drones that were in the air. So then, moving forward to this mystery woman, the whole reason why I went down that Greek mythology rabbit hole, it looks like, I was talking to Vante about this earlier, that she has some sort of magnetic powers. So if we think of how much of a Avatar The Last Airbender fan that Horikoshi is.
How did you get the magnetic powers real fast?
So if you look at how she opens the actual cell that was holding Overhaul, it looks like it was one of those like really hefty twist like doors. And it looks like she has like a little bit of electricity or some sort of like energy around the outside of the door.
EMP or something like that.
I'm looking on the panel.
It's the one where Overhaul falls out of his cell.
Okay. Yeah.
So going with the whole, so there's 2 actual references that are pretty cool.
I see what you're talking about.
Okay, that could be a metal bending, which is a reference to the Avatar, and it can also be a reference to Magneto from X-Men, which Horikoshi also loves. So, and she sort of had like a motherly look at him. So I don't know. That was where I got Gaia from.
I can absolutely I see that and I like that. From my first thought, I kind of went a Greek route too, but I was like, I just thought she looked like Medusa a little bit, like with her hair, just how it's done. So that was where my initial thought was.
I just hope he doesn't go that route because I may just drop the series. I'm not even joking.
What? Why?
That series drop worthy for me. I'm so sorry.
What is series drop worthy about that?
What specifically are you talking about?
If they really follow like Greek mythology.
I mean, it's just
Greek mythology for a lot of the time.
It would be for one character. It's not like Deku has a tie to anyone in Greek mythos. It's not like All Might has a tie. It would just be.
Oh wait, so you guys haven't seen the YouTube videos? They're like YouTube videos attaching each character, which actually matches.
The YouTube videos that was very specific. Wow.
So, Portia, what do they match up to?
I'm trying to explain it. So it's like each character technically represents, I can't remember which god was it where they were eaten and they broke out of the father's stomach.
Yeah, Kronos.
Yeah, basically that they're basically like it's like so like Shiggy will break out of Kronos or All For One.
Okay, so in traditional Greek mythology, you had never mind.
Wait, no, you said so. Shiggy would do what? Now you repeat that for me one more again. What?
Like, okay, so like they break out of their father's stomach because he eats them to keep them from being overpowered. So like it kind of goes into the fact that like Shiggy would like kill All For One. Honestly, I think All For One would probably become like Shiggy's assistant or try to become like a god himself. But that's like a whole.
You wouldn't like it if Shiggy like killed All For One right here.
I mean, I want him to kill him, but I don't want him to kill him right now. I don't think it'll be appropriate.
I don't see him killing him right now either because one, he has just fought a war and he's at less than 75%. He doesn't have strength. I do see him killing him out, biting him and strategically killing him after he gets his 100% strength back.
I don't know. All For One's pretty weak right now, so like.
My thing is, the Shigi and Deku parallels throughout the entire story with their growth have been great. For a switch up to happen and Deku's nemesis end up being All For One, I feel like it would just feel off for me. So I need it to be Shigi at the end of the day, at the end of the story.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think
I need that. I need that.
Him killing All For One and just kind of having him as a vestige for a symbiote, not necessarily a parasite, but
I think it'd just be. Yeah, I don't even think it'd be a symbiote. I think it'd be a vestige. I think it'd be the exact same thing that All For One. I mean that One For All has. I don't know why I just had a stroke.
Right. Can y'all fill me in real quick?
What's that?
About that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Baby Girl and how I came to the name Gaia.
The Fierce Knight.
Yep.
Only Yu-Gi-Oh fan in here. You hate to see it. Only Yu-Gi-Oh fan in here. You hate to see it. Somebody in the comments will know what the fuck I'm talking about. Continue. No,
that was me.
Gaia.
Sorry.
No, you good. You good. I like it though. Gaia, I like it though. So you think she got like some magnetism shit going on?
I mean,
like EMP, like that kind of
electromagnetic. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always been a fan of Greek mythology, like Percy Jackson over Harry Potter any day.
Any day of the week.
I read all of the Percy Jackson books.
Any day of the week, boy. That's I need to get my you know what I'm saying? I need to get my Percy Jackson literature for the collection.
The Percy Jackson movies, to be honest, is terrible. The Percy Jackson movie was dog shit.
Oh yeah, it was dick. Didn't they make two of those? Oh, they had the nerve to make a second one, I think. Yeah.
I didn't even watch that.
Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Wait, I could be wrong.
Yeah, they did make a second one, and it was terrible. It was even worse than the first one.
Because I know I watched both of them, and I clearly X'd one of them out of my mind.
No, I didn't watch the second one.
Yeah, it was the second one. It was bad, but like so, having more Greek mythology parallels would actually make me like the story more. Like there's another Shonen Jump I've been reading, and that got introduced kind of as a surprise, and it's going to make me like the series more. So
shout out Poseidon. Yeah. That's my guy.
What? Who? Oh yeah. Oh, Poseidon. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out Poseidon.
So,
that's my guy.
You know what? I had a question for you, real fast, Townzie. That has nothing to do with any of this.
Sure.
Okay, so ice or rain?
I hate you. Oh wait, I actually hate you. Powers ice. Everything else rain. Everything else rain. Ice powers. Don't ask me. Don't ask. I hate it when people I don't hate it. When people who know me who ask, "Hey man, what would your powers be in this random anime?" Nigga, ice. It doesn't matter what anime. Ice. Continue.
Yeah.
Ice for powers, rain for everything else. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Rainy gang. Rain is my favorite thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm religious, so it's God, then rain, then people.
How about the rain in this chapter, though?
Hey, the segue. Rain back in the chapter. You feel me? Okay. Nah.
My bad.
No, you good.
No, you're good.
No, I just think that was good. He couldn't. I wouldn't have forgiven Twitchy if he would have let that opportunity go by. You know what I'm saying? We know we the corny. We the corny kings around here. So I wouldn't have let him slide if he would have let that slide. That's what I'm saying. But no,
you wouldn't have let that slide anyway.
No, Greek mythology would also make me that would make me happy. I like Greek mythology. I love Greek and Norse mythology.
Yeah.
I did the amount of Norse mythology I was looking up for this Black Clover theory that I still ain't done. No, that would make me very happy. So I like the name Gaia. That's not bad.
Yeah, even if it's just for like this mini portion of this new arc or the end portion of the war arc, I would love to see, like Sherm said, more Greek mythology motifs in this part.
So traditionally, I just wanted to point out something. So basically, when you know how Portia was saying about the whole like the children break out of their father and like defeat like the thing. So traditionally, in Greek mythology, you had Gaia and Uranus, who's basically this entity of the cosmos or the sky or whatever, and from them you had the Titans, And when the Titans grew out of hand, you had the when the Giants grew out of hand, you
Aaron
had the
them pulling up?
Titans.
That's crazy.
Then you had from the Titans came the gods, and then eventually the gods ended up overthrowing the Titans. But this entire war is actually a reference to a Greek mythological event called the Gigantomachy.
My man.
Looks like I'm dropping my hero.
Bye. It's
Yeah,
been real.
considering that
Don't let the door hit you on the way
wrote
out.
a series called Gigantomaxia.
Yeah, so what? Just I just don't understand how Greek mythology parallels are what's going to make you drop. Like
I don't
what?
get. Yeah,
what
I didn't.
is your
I
mythology?
didn't understand what happened with that either. I for real.
Because sometimes I feel like the story gets sucked up with Dilly trying to relate to Greek mythology and loses.
Wait, huh?
Right, but
do you think this story in particular, or just in general?
In general.
So you just tied to Greek mythology.
I mean, he just brought it up, or I just brought it up this chapter. So I mean,
no,
Eddie,
like people have been talking about it since like is it a beginning? I can't remember. It was one of those.
So
what?
People have been talking about it for a while.
I have not seen it, honestly.
Yeah,
You haven't? People have been talking about it for a while.
What is it?
Like My Hero in Greek mythology.
Yeah, I have not seen none of that.
I was on the subreddit for
Chat?
like a year.
Yeah, I've seen My Hero in Greek mythology.
We've been talking about it for a while, and I'm like, please don't.
No, I don't know.
Who was we?
I don't know.
Using somebody comment section. Using on the Reddit.
You know what? It has to be the shippers.
It is, but also
that shipping community fucking you up. Yeah, nah, you gotta get up out of the shipping community. That's what your problem is. You gotta get up out of the shipping community.
You can't be a shipper if you're with Greek mythology.
You gotta get it. You gotta get get out of the shipping community. That's what it is. You don't gotta get out of the shipping community, but you gotta stop letting them niggas run things.
I actually eased out a lot. I was actually going to do something, but let's just say they have actually lost their mind. This is the worst it's ever been since like I don't know whenever. It's actually been worse.
It was always bad, but you know what I'm saying. Listen, nuh-uh. You gonna say the shipping community wasn't always bad? Stop lying. Stop.
It wasn't always this bad.
I said it was always bad. I didn't say it was always this bad. I said it was always bad. What? It was always bad. You're not gonna get me to not believe otherwise because it was always bad. Was it always this bad? No, because now we got the people that are on Twitter now. we got those anti-Twitter fucking fiends. Oh my god. Huh?
They were like this on Tumblr. That's why I'm laughing that you haven't met JoJo shippers yet. I'm really laughing about that.
You say met JoJo shippers yet? Motherfuckers don't listen. You are. We talked about this. You were in the shipping community. That was a shipping community thing, not a JoJo community thing. Nah, I can tell you that. I can tell you that.
I'm currently reading part 8 of JoJo's, and I have not run into any shippers. So apparently I'm doing something right.
Of course, Heart pulls up when we talk about JoJo's. How does that happen? Of course, Heart pulls up when we talking about some fucking JoJo's. No.
So
what's up?
So I was mentioning Gigantomachy, which is the celestial event where giants ended up attacking the Olympian gods, and they were overpowered until mortal heroes ended up aiding the sides of the gods to defeat the giants.
Oh, that's dope.
Which is basically an entire callback to this entire arc, where like you have the students helping the pro heroes to defeat the villains, who are giants and Nomus and whatnot. So this entire arc has been based off Greek mythology. I wouldn't be surprised if the aftermath of like whatever we're going on right now, this prison break and everything, is actually a section, the second section to the Gigantomachy event.
Well, you said repeat that last bit one more time. I'm sorry.
I said I wouldn't be surprised if like the prison break is actually a continuation of the actual celestial event, like based off the actual celestial event of Gigantomachy.
Okay. I thought when you said that, I thought you brought up Gigantomachy at the end. I was like, wait, what I missed, and I didn't. So now I understand. I got you. So you think it's a continuation of that? That makes sense. would also obviously make sense to where I think it's the same arc. But I think it's the same arc anyway. So no, I feel.
Can I say like one point before I forget because I'm an idiot?
Say words.
Okay. So during my last what was the last chapter? I was like, wait, that's weird. Like the guy was talking about like basically Japanese like capital punishment.
Who?
Am I the only one who like caught that?
Which person? Who was saying that?
It was at the beginning with two of the.
Oh, in the beginning, in the beginning, those two in the beginning.
With the Shiketsu hat, yeah.
What about it?
Or it reminded me of a Shiketsu.
You said they was talking about capital punishment. What about it?
Yeah.
They were talking about Gigantomachia and like how they were going to shoot missiles at them. They're like, no, we can't shoot missiles at people. That's unethical.
Okay, I understand. So capital. What about it? No, continue.
But it's funny because Japan actually does have capital punishment. Because I looked into it because I read a recent case a little bit about it, how they actually hang people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering why they don't do capital punishment with the villains. But also, what point do they not consider them human anymore? How far does your quirk have to go? Because Netsu is like a talking. What is he? A rat? I don't know.
I feel so. You mean so? You saying why? Are you saying why don't they put these villains to death?
Yeah, and also is Makia still considered human?
As of now, yes.
Yeah, I mean
that's what it said in this chapter.
I want to know why. Like what?
Because Horikoshi haven't told you otherwise.
My hero.
Because he's bipedal.
What? So you saying how does that make? How do we know he's human? I mean, Horikoshi.
Weird.
Because
I'm talking about the ethics of my hero right now, basically. Like I'm just being weird, but like the ethics of my hero.
I mean, I don't think that's weird. It's they're basing their society off of current Japan, so it's not weird at all. But continue.
I guess, but I'm saying all the dirt and things All For One has done, the Doctor has done, and you're not going to kill them.
Well, All For One, if we remember, all the way back before the start of this arc, he was supposed to be put on trial. I don't know what the timeline was, but I thought the trial was supposed to be right around this time.
Also,
because there is a ton of backlog.
Also, you can't.
Plus, this happened relatively recently.
You can't just be like I understand capital punishment, but you just can't be out here killing people. All For One's a different story, but it's like but it's like all might.
Like muscular and like United States right now too, because we're pushing through the pro inmates.
So what did muscular do to deserve death? Tell me that.
Didn't he kill 2 people?
Yes.
If you do mass murder in Japan, you're eligible for, I think, capital punishment.
Well, if we also remember, and I'm really glad that they brought up a lot of the villains from that was the Forest Training arc, because if we remember back to Moonfish, it was actually stated that he was on death row, so that they do have capital punishment, like Portia was saying. But I don't know if it's similar to like the American law system, to where you can have a ton of appeals, stretch out the process, what's going on. But yeah, I know it was stated he was on death row.
I just know because, like, based on Japan's own history, current mental health isn't
the
taken
teeth
care of.
that you was roasting in your video.
I thought so. I didn't want to unsolicitedly roast. You want to make sure you want to make sure you roast correctly.
As you mentioned in
your
video,
I don't even know what happened, but that's kind of it. I have to say.
No, I feel what you mean. So it's like you're just saying why don't they using capital punishment on these people? Why aren't they? It's just because it's like, well, for one, it's just like how for All For One specifically, it's like how do you kill him? Because All Might couldn't twice.
But see, I don't want to
One for All couldn't this entire time.
Why I think All For One could die, and I have a theory how to kill All For One, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil it for you.
No, I understand. I feel it, but it's just like it's just like so. I feel. Listen, I understand if you're a straight up mass murderer, but like you say he killed 2 people. I know people that's in prison right now that's probably killed more, and is in that bitch for life. That's what I'm saying. So it's just like.
I'm saying with like I just feel like I know this is like really weird to me, but I'm just saying
I don't
like,
think it's weird.
It's a lot of things. Like that's what I said. Maybe I just need to read Vigilantes. Okay, Twitchy, maybe you're right, but
I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah, you need to read Vigilantes. Vigilantes is amazing.
I don't know where this came from. I don't know where Vigilante. I don't know where you just pulled that from, but continue.
Just a darker theme to it.
The gray area of society for My Hero, because we keep seeing Deku in them in this good light, and I hate seeing them in this good light, and that's why I like Endeavor and Bakugo, because heroes keep being shown in this good light, and it shouldn't be that. And I kind of want good another light. My Hero, not my villain arc, because Toga, we don't know where she went technically. She could
somewhere not getting caught. Somewhere not getting caught. She out here. What you talking about? I'm going.
She could be playing Cammy again. We don't know, like, because under stress your quirk mutates. So like she was under a lot of stress, so she could have mutated again. Honestly,
I like the fact that they showed Stain once and.
My man was just in there chilling. My guy was in there chilling. He said, "I'm not worried about these fucking villains."
Prison Break life. Nah. He's not gonna go with the villains.
All I'm gonna say,
his own thing. His own.
Listen, I wouldn't. I feel like I would. Stain, he would probably walk out. You know what I'm saying? Just leave. But if that man, but look. If Stain stays in there, that is a fucking goat. I swear, if he stays in there, that is a fucking goat. I feel like he would leave. I feel like he wouldn't mind, but I also feel like he was like, yeah, I'm saying, fuck it, I ain't got nothing to do out there. I'm gonna stay. If he stays, that's my goat. If he stays, that's my goat. I swear to God.
Another like he's stay there, and then we're gonna have to use him.
Another small detail of this chapter. They actually did use capital punishment on some villains. There are dead villains in the hallways. If they were told, if you step outside of your cell, we can legally shoot you to death.
That's not it. But I thought capital punishment was like they read your rights off and they deliver you with, your...
That's the more formal process, but you can always shoot a guy.
But also these are corrupt individuals.
You're breaking the law, and if you break a law, you're like dead. I didn't know. I thought that was just like for any inmate.
Like there are very little rules in Tartarus.
Because that's
I think the main thing is we don't really know like what are the laws for a individual, like specifically what governs a.
And we don't know Yes, we know they're villains, but we don't know exactly what all these people did. Like we just don't.
Yeah.
Obviously, what's it called? For me, All For One deserves the death penalty. For like Overhaul might deserve the death penalty. That motherfucker's wild. Killed that little girl 86 million times and brought her back. It might be time to go, dog. It might be time to go. But it's like other than that, we don't know what the rest of these villains did to be able to deserve it. It's like Spinner death penalty.
In actually one of the guidebooks, they show that Overhaul can actually use his powers.
Tucci brought it up before.
What'd you say? I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you said.
So one of the guidebooks said that
I didn't hear what the question was. I'm trying to hear the question.
No, Grin was just bringing up. Did we notice or did we hear about the guidebook talking about Overhaul? Like his quirk is starting to manifest in a unique way, and that was how it was put.
Was that not put in the manga? I thought it was put in the manga.
Nope.
No,
it was like some data book thing or something.
We talked about this on the podcast before, though. That's kind of why I said
yeah. Right, yeah, because we talked it up about the guidebook. But going back to the capital punishment, I don't think it was capital punishment shooting them dead in the hallway. I think that was just straight up murder.
I just googled the definition. Capital punishment, also known as the death penalty, is a state sanctioned practice of killing somebody as a punishment. I'm just reading the definition. The sentence of ordering that someone is punished with the death penalty is called a death sentence. And the act of carrying out such sentence known as execution. So, wouldn't call it capital punishment, but they did. They did.
Right now, I even think that the chapter said that they don't even let some of the villains have trials, period.
This new chapter?
That they just lock them up in there. Yeah.
I thought it said that they even kept them there before their sentencing. I don't know about
something.
It's for due process because they're too mishandleable for
they captured corrupt individuals who either are potentially threatening the thing or have already threatened it. with with a wide range of quirks, and their quirks represent the severity of their cases, and basically they're kept in the prison regardless of what their state is for trial or sentencing.
Yeah,
that is
like
such a slippery slope in terms of legality.
That's such
But I think that's,
like the last
that reminds me of real life, for real. Yeah.
Yep. Like the last sentence on page 1 states that this is the dark side of Quark society. Like, Tartarus is not good. Like, it straight up tells us this is not being run humanely. Like, this is the worst part of Quark society.
Horikoshi straight that anybody who's imprisoned here never comes back alive. Never emerges alive.
Huh?
Yeah, like the last sentence in the official says that it is said that anyone imprisoned there will never again emerge alive.
Do you think they're harvesting their organs? Or their quirks?
No, I think that
that is one theory about how high-end Hood, how he got Muscular's quirk, is that Dr. Ujiko was stated to have treated some of the patients in Tartarus, because they get like a free medical exam before they go in to just kind of look at their baseline levels of like their quirk usage and whatnot. So it's one prominent theory online that Hood had Muscular's quirk, and that's how he was able to extend his arms.
But also, Tartarus is kind of like oh, never mind. Go ahead, Sean.
Speaking kind of about that, and going back to 296, we see 2 of the kids from that kindergarten class that they all went to. So the theory that those kids were the high ends is null and void now. I did want to bring that up.
I completely forgot about
that. I didn't hear that theory in the first place. But
I didn't.
You didn't hear it because his grandson. They grouped him with his grandson, Dr. Ujiko's grandson, because his grandson's missing and he had wings.
I'll see if I can find that and send it to you, Townzie.
Was that Bakugo's friend who had wings? Did they think he turned into a Nomu?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I don't even know where we're at now. I'll be real with you.
So when Todoroki and Bakugo went to get their licenses, and and those school kids came in, and it had the guy with I'm the binging balls or whatever.
Son, yes sir.
Right.
But
there was a theory.
I am so surprised you did not notice him.
Yeah, there was a theory that he was in 296. There was a theory that those kids had become high ends. So 296 just disproves that theory. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, I didn't notice him. I just didn't know about the theory. That's all. I was just kind of lost. I was lost in the conversation in general. I was lost in the sauce. I was lost in the conversation in general.
One of the fuck ups, I think, is basically Tartarus's rules as it were, which is
Reddit theory. Oh boy.
Ordinarily, you'd think that if somebody's a quirk individual, you can probably imprison them and then rehabilitate them. But Tartarus has no concrete rules or anything, so they have the right to capture anybody who they think could potentially threaten hero society, even if that person may or may not actually have.
Also, I don't think
followed on that path, and then they could keep them in Tartarus forever.
Yeah,
and just never let them go.
Agree. And then not only that, if you're keeping them in there forever, if they got friends out there and they got information, and you want to get that information, and you want to try to get that information, you're gonna try to get that information. You don't gotta kill them because they already in Tartarus. So it's maybe we'll just keep trying to get the information out of you. That's part of that whole English thing, and why. I'm just saying that's a reason why. That they bring back to the capital punishment. No, you weren't even here. You didn't miss anything. I didn't say nothing at all.
Okay.
It also goes on to show how skewed the justice system is in My Hero, which is say you're a individual with a dangerous quirk, right? But you have never used it for anything. You are just living your ordinary life. Mm-hmm. The police or any of the prisoners could literally just come capture you and then chuck you in Tartarus just because you have a dangerous quirk, right? And then you could just go there.
I think that kind of goes. I think that kind of doesn't go along with the whole humane thing he said this chapter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a system that is built in a way where, because the rules are so vague and they're not so concrete, and there's not even a process for them to rehabilitate or something. It basically encourages villainy. It's a system that encourages villainy.
See, like, I feel like we just.
I feel like the prison, or do you mean in general for society?
Both. I would say both.
Okay.
I feel like, I mean, I hear you, but just like I feel like it's hard to say I feel like that we just don't have the information to be able to say yes or no with that.
I mean,
because it's like I hear what you mean, but it's just like I don't think that you could just go pull somebody up, just yank somebody up that just got a dangerous quirk. That's just wild.
They did say anyone that poses a threat to society, they could have done that.
Correct, but it's like
and keep in mind that they do have quirk registration, and vigilantes does get into kind of how you become classified as a villain. So vigilantes dives more into kind of the legal side, which is one of the more interesting parts about it.
Mm-hmm. As well as like the origin for like how vigilantes and heroes were separated from like the origin of basically like the registration process and all of that when quirks were first booming, which is there's actually one of my favorite, those specific chapters when they go on to like the history of quirks and how heroes came about in society is actually one of my favorite like series of chapters in Vigilantes.
Those are the best types. Those types of chapters are the best types of chapters in manga. Period. Exposition chapters, the best chapters in manga, especially if the mangaka know what the fuck they doing. Oh boy, exposition chapters hit different.
I think 298 is going to be that exposition chapter.
I've been waiting on an exposition chapter this whole fucking arc. I
think it's coming.
I've been waiting on it, and I've been holding back on my slander. I've been holding back.
I also think that here's the thing: we didn't see Kurogiri break out either, right? He's currently being held in the facility where they questioned him.
He's still like unconscious.
Did you say we didn't see him last chapter? Is that what you said?
No, we saw him, but we didn't see him break out.
That's what I was asking. Okay, I was asking specifically what you said.
No, so I feel like that's their next step. I think that's the next step.
That's how they get the fuck out of here. I mean, it's probably just how the fuck they get out of here. For real. I wouldn't be surprised.
So really quickly, speaking of getting out.
What's up?
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I didn't have anything else to say.
I was just going to say, speaking of getting out, I just wanted to point out how suave All For One's escape plan was.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
My goodness.
In and out.
He has a simultaneous mental connection between the outside All For One and the inside All For One.
I'm just looking at this last...
To perfectly coordinate when the system would be offline for a second or two, so he can blast open the door and shut down all of the security from the inside. That was brilliant.
I'm looking at this last page, this last chapter on this last page. Hey, man, let that guard go, All For One. Why he got that man in his head? Let that man go, man.
Yeah, man, was that like
All For One bullying this man? Why All For One bullying this guy? Let him go. All For One, let this dude go. Why is he bullying this man?
Remember the meatball kid from Shiketsu?
Yeah, he got the he just slumped, got him up, bro. He dead.
Bro, imagine that's his dad.
Bro, let that actually be his dad though. Why he just got him in his? Let that man go. Why he bullying this man, man?
When I first seen that, it was just like a jacket or something.
Meatball's dad. I'm just saying.
Well,
if that's Meatball's dad, you could then immediately switch over to Shiketsu. Oh,
yeah, because we know that the Meatball
would love to know what Shiketsu's doing because they weren't at the prison.
Wasn't that the guy that I was talking to?
Would love to know what Shiketsu was doing this whole time because they weren't at the prison.
I believe so,
yeah, because I forgot. Hold on, I gotta look at the chapter again real quick.
What happened? What you mean? For what?
But he was talking kind of like how if that is his son, he was kind of talking like Meatball.
Oh yeah, no, that's probably. I think it's probably his dad. For real.
Same kind of attitude.
You remember he was talking the utmost shit, and they both got the emo hairdo. Yeah, I think that's his pops. I think that's his pops.
By the way, with the last panel, how All For One is saying this would be the story of how I become the greatest demon lord or whatever.
Let him go. Let him go.
I feel like that's straight up cap. Well, All For One is that's cap.
Yeah.
Like that whole panel to me is weird. Like you have Shiggy in the picture or in the panel with All For One. I just feel like Shiggy's gonna end up killing him.
Yep.
It could either be in a fight or he just does it just to do it.
Yep.
And kind of what on Twitter the other day where you had put saying that he kind of like wanted Shiggy to do that in a sense. Probably wouldn't let him do it, obviously, but he's coming into his own. And for him to take out All For One, I think All For One is just basically going to go into the vestige world or whatever.
Yeah,
basically
because
do
he's
the same
not
thing
going.
and advocate for him.
That's
Just
what I'm
like
saying.
The All For One, the One For All users for Deku, it's going to be the same thing.
That's why it's like physical All For
implying,
One. Ooh, wait, never mind. Yeah. Continue. I gotta collect.
So like what he's what he's implying is like his legacy is going to live on through Shigaraki, but not necessarily him per se. And that's why I feel like the last panel is kind of fishy to me. Like he's saying that I will become the greatest hero, and he got someone like Deku that's saying this is a story of how I basically did become the greatest hero. So
I've got an idea on that, Vontae. If he is, so we know that One For All is the succession of the previous One For All users. Imagine that he is trying to be the original All For One vestige then therefore creates another All For One line of villains.
Well, that's kind of what I've been saying for like the whole time. Like that was all of everything I was saying with All For One. So I was like, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
That's kind of what I've been like when I said that he doesn't want to be in control and stuff like that, and he doesn't want that to be his body. That's what I was basically getting at.
Wait, you know what would have been funny if like Deku's dad is actually in Tartarus, but he's not overseas. She just lied to him because she didn't want her baby to know that his father was in jail.
That sounds like a dumb lie to me. I'll be real with you. That's like a dumb lie to me. Your father's in jail because he's a fucking idiot. Don't be like him. That sounds like if he was in jail, that sounds like.
Why wouldn't he have gone to see him then?
You can't. Tartarus has visitors.
Yeah. They had Aizawa and President Mike.
I don't think.
But that was for investigation.
You mean Heroes?
All Might.
So Heroes.
All Might don't count.
No, Heroes don't. No,
All Might's
stop
a person. He definitely counts.
Heroes don't count because the only people we've seen visit were Heroes. It's Tartarus.
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of All Might,
prison.
Does anyone have any updated idea why he wanted to talk to Stain? I've been racking my brain for weeks now that my bloodbending theory got thrown in the mud. I have no idea why he wanted to talk to Stain.
I don't know either. I'm just waiting for him to die at 300.
But just look at this panel though.
Why he couldn't just have no? He didn't. What? They listen. They both built like a toothpick. He just wanted to have a conversation with somebody else like him. I got nothing.
Has anybody? You guys have read Vigilantes, please? Tell me yes, no.
Well, you know I haven't.
I'm not completely caught up, but I've read it.
I ain't tripping.
So
I'm not tripping either. I don't care.
Well,
I'm not tripping. We're not tripping. Those of us who haven't read don't care. And Portia likes spoilers.
Okay, so my reason I think that All Might went to talk Stain is because of a certain. You guys remember the certain chapter where Stain was introduced in Vigilantes?
Yeah, I at least got that far.
I feel like it has something to do with that, like with the whole like Koichi versus Stain and that entire encounter, like the whole thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had said. Not exactly, but it's like kind of what I said like before. It's like he had the conversation with Endeavor about the symbol of peace and stuff like that, and it just like it may not help All For One specifically, but he goes to talk to Stain about his ideology and stuff like that because it's just like he even like on that YouTube video or whatever like that, he wasn't talking about him being a villain. He was just talking about the Hero Society being dick. So it's just like him being All For One. That is the one for all. Him being One For All or All Might was the one that Stain wanted to like. That's who Stain wanted to emulate. So it's just like he go to Stain for some information on that specifically. Obviously, I wouldn't know what they talk about, but I would imagine it would be along the lines of that.
I also think it has something to do with the drug that we see in Vigilantes, and if like you said, you've caught up, right, Richie? So you know the
not entirely. I'm like 6 or 7 chapters behind.
Okay.
Grin, I'm caught up.
Okay, so you know the whole drug, right? And with the overclock with the whole all for one thing. So I feel like there is a connection between the drugs since that all for one we get to see all for one in the last 2-3 chapters of Vigilantes, and the connection with Stain's thing, because they were falling up in the drug as well, right?
Yeah.
But in Stain.
Yeah, I see.
And All Might there during the first encounter with All for One back when they were trying to mass produce the whole drug thing. I feel like that's a huge tie-in over there.
The only reason why I would question that line of thinking, like All Might chasing that ball of yarn, is simply because I think he has more important things to worry about at the moment. I feel like it's just got to be something like monumental why he would want to talk to Stain.
I think he needs to get all this stuff too for Deku, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
I
agree.
I can understand like the charisma angle to where he's trying to see what made Stain so popular among the masses, but
that's not really
at a certain point. Oh, it's not
me. If you're talking about what I said, no, not absolutely not at all whatsoever. I was saying. Are you talking about Grin or me? What me or what Grin said?
I was talking about what you were saying, Townzie.
Oh no, yeah. What I said was I think that he would want to know why Stain what Stain actually thought of heroes, because it's like what he thought about heroes, something along the lines of those conversations. Because we know he was like fuck heroes except for All Might. So it's just like All Might might want to go, why are you saying fuck all heroes except for All Might? All Might might want to break it down. Him break down something like that down. I'm saying something along the lines of those conversations. Not really the internet thing. I only said the internet thing because it's like we just know the internet themselves. They know that he didn't want to be a villain. He just thinks the hero side is dick. And I just think that All Might would want to go to him to that's monumental to me. For All Might to go to somebody who was a quote unquote villain to be like, all right, well, why do you think about heroes the way you do? Because maybe we fucking up, and that is monumental to me. But that's kind of what I was saying beforehand. I forget which podcast. It was one of these fucking podcasts. We got like 13 of them now, dog, or 12. We got like 12 of them now, dog. I said it on one of them.
Maybe All Might is slightly guilty.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
I agree. Absolutely.
I could see that sort of like the remorseful visit to kind of confront his own past. Yeah. Okay,
that's what I was. Yeah, like
his
something like that is what I was saying. Something like that was what I was saying the first time we brought it up. I guess I just didn't explain hard enough. I guess.
Well, that's fine. I was just thought you were going along the lines of like the popularity because All Might had that conversation with Gran Torino over the phone about All for One.
And actually, when I said that, I was talking about his conversation with Endeavor about being.
No, I know. I was just bringing up like that phone conversation of like, I believe Gran Torino was like speculating before they knew All for One was like back in the picture that if Stain was shown to the masses with like this mass appeal, that if he meant to take the fall. And then that would then lead all of the villains to Shigaraki, like that was a mastermind play.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean, and that's more big brain than I was thinking. But no, that's I do see what you mean though, and I wouldn't agree with that either. I wouldn't agree with that either. But no, I said what I had to say. What's up, Graham? My bad. I interrupted you 12 times.
I was just saying that. So in the last 2-3 chapters of Vigilantes, we know that when we know that this like whatever's happening in Vigilantes currently is actually a flashback to like several years ago because what's her name? What do you call
you can keep it general. Let's just call it a callback.
Yeah.
It's essentially a callback. It's a callback, and we get to see a bunch of I think we do get to see Night Eye, but so we obviously know that it's in the past, and we know that All for One and All Might faced like one time before the beginning of My Hero series, right? So I feel like the reason I keep going back to this drug and like the whole connection with vigilantes and the stain thing.
You said the drug
is because it has
trigger.
Yeah, the drug trigger.
Yeah.
Stain, All For One, and the origin of Nomus are all interconnected. Because in vigilantes we get to see like, I would say one of the earliest permutations of what we now call Nomus.
Mm-hmm.
Like way back in the day, we get to see like what is the first or earliest experiments of that. So I feel like this entire meeting with Stain has something to do with One For All For One trigger and the Nomus. There's some sort of connection here that I'm not yet able to see because of some detail that I still don't have.
What if Trigger is the lifeblood of all Nomu, since they're all dead and they don't actually have blood flowing through their veins?
I mean, they are made of corpses, but...
I would feel that, but I would want to know what is it that makes the quirks better out of that. I get that it's their blood, and it's
I would just say the ability for them to hold multiple quirks in their body. It amplifies their body's innate ability to handle multiple quirks.
See, I understand, but like, how would that? It makes that part different, but it's like, how would that make their base quirk stronger? I understand that their body. I understand that it makes their bodies like more resilient to that type of stuff. But what that don't make that, for me at least, it doesn't make sense to where that would actually make their base quirk stronger.
Now, Twitchy's onto something here.
I agree that he's onto something. I do. I agree that he's onto something. I just want it to make sense. I don't even dislike it. I just want it to make sense.
I don't think that the trigger necessarily impacts the, let's just call it quirk A of an individual that is turned into a Nomu. Mm-hmm. I think it just allows that cadaver to incorporate multiple quirks into its functioning.
I might have put two together. Twitchy. Oh my god, Twitchy. You might have just blown my mind right now, because we know Kurogiri's quirk is Warp Gate, right?
Yep.
We know Shirakumo's quirk is
not Warp Gate.
Thank you, Twitchy.
It's Cloud.
Thank you, Twitchy.
It's Cloud. It's Cloud, right? The ability to like mist and like that was Shirakumo's thing.
Mm.
It's similar, but not the same.
Yeah, I would say that maybe what they're actually doing is altering the corpse's innate quirk through some sort of quirk modification, and so that when they bring them back as Nomus, they actually have a totally different quirk altogether, which would make sense to why.
I was going to say, they even mentioned the fact that warping quirks are more rare, or are some of the rarest quirks in society.
That makes sense.
And it just so happens that the one Nomu that had a relatively decent quirk as a living human now has like this super rare quirk now that he's a Nomu.
It also makes sense to why he can't just straight up warp his entire body, and why he's not immune to physical attacks, which we see in the first season. Remember when Bakugo's like, you can warp your entire because you're not immune to physical attacks.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because Shirakumo's base quirk, which was just Cloud, allowed him to float around and cover his body, but he wasn't immune to physical attacks.
So what you're saying?
Genetic modification on old quirks.
Basically, they were playing alchemy with quirks, and that I can't have a warp gate hurricane.
What's that?
You're insane.
A warp.
I'll be the one to ask. What's that?
You're insane. She wants to warp a hurricane. She's trying to warp natural disasters. Stop.
I want a warp a hurricane.
Stop. Why do you want people to die so bad?
That would be so sweet.
A warp hurricane?
If he could actually make a hurricane with one quirk and warp it to a different area, that would be amazing.
All I'm saying is the power scaling community would love Portia in One Piece. That's all I'm saying. The power scaling community would love Portia in One Piece, man. I swear to God. I swear to God. The power scaling community would love Portia in One Piece, man.
Why don't we just take a planet and move it somewhere else?
All I'm saying is I used that meme in One Piece. I did.
Like, I wonder, does someone have like a planet quirk, or like maybe like a quirk where like?
Oh no! What did I do?
Oh what? Nah,
change history. What are you talking about? Oh no!
Like,
nah, no, hell no, no, like no past things, no. No.
You said planet quirk. What does that mean?
You said change history. That's past.
You know how planets align, right? No, not now. So like Vontae, you know how like the planets aligned earlier this year, how Mercury and everything lined up?
A planet aligning quirk. Oh, sweet. Oh hell.
And then like you can get the moon and can switch the poles. That would be sweet.
But yeah, Gucci, I think the first thing they're doing
I mean, I can't respond to a planet quirk, so I'm ready for Grin to
You know
move
what I'm saying? I can't even talk shit. You got it. You got it. You got it.
My bad, Portia.
You got it, Portia. You got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on it. You know what I'm saying? That's the final villain right there. Whoever that guy is. All for one. It's build up for fucking that guy. Or maybe Shiggy steals his quirks. You know what I'm saying? It's build up for fucking that guy. Listen, man.
Next itch gonna destroy a planet. I'm dead.
Log. I'm surprised she didn't say they'd be able to warp the planet.
If you warp the planet into a hurricane.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Eventually we're gonna go.
It's not One Punch Man. Things can't be that broken. It's not One Punch Man. Things can't be that broken. But you know what I'm saying? Can't say it's a bad idea. Can't say I think it's gonna happen.
Wait, what? I missed that.
Oh, you didn't miss nothing. We didn't say anything. No, nothing. Great
That's
idea.
Not nice.
No, yeah, you didn't miss nothing at all. Great idea. You know what I'm saying? 10 out of 10. You didn't miss nothing.
Sobbing.
What are you sobbing for? I'm bullying. We just said it's a 10 out of 10 idea. Bullying. You weren't here to hear anything else. So as far as I'm concerned, we said that it was a 10 out of 10 idea. Would recommend. That's probably gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? That's probably gonna happen.
Salmon.
See what? That's literally an agree. Salmon. That's salmon. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I lost our whole train of thought. What the fuck we were talking about? I'm be real with you. I'm saying, I lost all of it.
Fortunately, I still remember.
Hey, Grin to go.
What you think about baby girl though, aka Gaia? Y'all think she don't seem villainous to me?
I'm just trying to get to know her. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
She don't seem villainous to me. Like
I'm just trying to get to know her.
Y'all really will go on that quick with every
doesn't seem like
everyone.
You said what?
Kind of like. I say she don't seem very villainous.
Wow.
I'm thinking she might be one of those people who was deemed a threat, irregardless of her personal motives or even her personality. She might just be the byproduct of a society that just looks down on strong quirks.
Yeah, or she's a mass murderer. Who knows?
She doesn't seem like a murderer. Not with that quirk.
Listen.
No, everyone. Jim Jones didn't seem like a crazy person in the beginning. Then next thing you know, woohoo!
All I'm saying is,
we didn't even get a single word out of Gaia today. So let's just.
All I'm saying
pump the brakes.
Speaking of single, she can make me a single father. What?
Disgusting.
Huh?
How dare you cheat on Toga?
Huh?
You cheating on the.
That is Toga. I'm just kidding.
Might be.
No, it not. No, it might not.
No,
it might not.
Yeah,
Portia, they're in Tartarus, Portia. She was locked. She was locked in a cell. I know you're trying to play devil's advocate. Stop it.
This is why we can't have good things.
It's why we can't have good things. You're right. That's fact. You're spitting, sir. You're spitting.
So you did touch on something interesting you did touch on something interesting, Twitchy. I was just thinking earlier that I was really hoping one of the people released from Tartarus is someone who was wrongfully locked up, either framed for a crime that they didn't commit, or were just taken in because of a quirk. So Gaia could absolutely fill that role. I just think it would be weak and lazy if everyone who escaped from Tartarus was just a mass murderer when they gave us other options.
Well, especially with page 1 saying what it did about them being potential for that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying
page 1.
No, you don't actually know what I'm talking about. You have no idea.
I know what it is. I don't know what it is.
What?
I said that right.
No, you don't.
I know it's a One Piece thing. That's it.
Okay, so no, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, continue, friends. Continue.
No, I just want to say thank you that you guys are rolling with Gaia.
I'm not.
I didn't hear nothing back. No. We know. But there's always at least one person to disagree with Mr. Twitchy anyway. So there's always one person to disagree with Twitchy. So this is just nothing new. It's usually me. Yeah. But thank you. Actually, no, it's not usually me. It's always just somebody, actually.
Recently it's been me, so I'm happy that
you've been disagreeing with everybody.
I know.
You've been disagreeing with everybody.
You're just not happy.
I respect it.
I've been alone, Bob.
I respect it. I can't have a fucking group call full of yes men. Nope, I'm good.
But I can definitely appreciate it. Like, even if you guys aren't feeling it as much as I am, or I'm kind of down on some of these chapters that you guys are enjoying, it's still a fun time.
No,
I mean, we down on the ones you enjoy.
I really like Gaia. I would like to see more of the mythology.
What is happening?
I don't think I deserve it. What you mean? Are you not paying attention?
I'm sorry, Sherm. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm so lost.
It's only you. You're the only one that's lost right now. When it was 1,000,006 people talking, you didn't say you was lost, but now you are. That's crazy.
I wasn't here.
Yes, you were the one of the people talking in it. That's when Twitchy said everybody can't talk at once. You were definitely one of the people talking. I was too, but you were definitely one of the people talking.
Look at this man Shizaki, that boy.
Who?
Shizaki, he got no hope.
He's getting his hope back.
I don't want him to.
I just want them to let this man. I just want all for one to let this man go. Why you got him by the back? Why let this nigga go?
Okay.
Because he's a labradoodle. He's a labradoodle.
Oh yeah, see you brought it back yourself.
So
what?
So we're done podcast, right? So we're done.
A what doodle?
I got one more question for you guys.
I'm about to say
it seems like we're about near the end.
Okay.
I guess so. Shit. Y'all take it out this time. Y'all finish the fucking podcast. You right. I ain't even mad. I'm lazy. Shit. Y'all can finish it. It's cool.
What is happening right now?
Oh my God.
Is Twitchy getting
let him talk.
Sounds like closing thoughts, starting with Twitchy.
Yes. Well, not quite, but I just have one more question before we get into closing thoughts.
Okay.
I believe it was either near the end of 296. I believe it was. Let me check really quickly. Dum. I got you back. So when All for One was saying that this body is breaking down, so I need more villains. Now, first impression, obviously, that could mean he just needs chaos in the underground of Tartarus. But do we think any of these quirks will be stolen by either Shigaraki or the original Alpha One?
These quirks being stolen, who?
These quirks of any of the villains. Okay. So it could be Muscular, Overhaul, Moonfish.
You think Alpha One is going to absorb all their quirks? Like, just release them just so that he can absorb all
I got scared when this chapter came out because there was a spoiler that said something like, "Oh yeah, Alpha One absorbs Stain's quirk or something." I was like, "Bro, come on now."
I could very well see that. I could see that happening, and I could see him wanting to do that. I just don't think it will because they still need people, and he said specifically this chapter that they need people. But continue.
True, but I've consistently
absorb all those quirks.
I wouldn't say absorb all of them, but I've consistently said this that Shigaraki's generals are a little bit underpowered, and even if he were to give them one new quirk apiece, that would be a way to power scale them up versus the heroes.
You're saying take quirks from random people and give it to the squad?
Yep. So like, if we were to take Overhaul's quirk and give it to Mr. Compress.
Oh shit!
I thought you were saying like take Muscular quirk and keep that bitch. Take Overhauls and keep that. Oh no, okay. Never mind. I like that. I don't see a problem. Yeah, I see that a lot more than what I was thinking.
I really like the pairing of Mr. Compress and Overhaul because they have history and the fact that Mr. Compress took one of his hands.
Everything from them.
Yes. He said, "Let me get my shit back, bitch." I'm like, oh, go ahead.
Damn. But could you imagine how raw that would be with Mr. Compress with Overhaul's quirk? He could literally destroy and compress anything that he wanted.
See, but it's like...
Yeah.
So what the hell are the heroes gonna do at that point? When they all get these quirks, what the heroes gonna do?
They gonna die.
I'm just
depend on that.
That's what I was gonna say, die, I guess. They got two for now. For everything we know, literally right now, at least shit. They got all that. They got these quirks they might steal. They got 2 offer ones at least right now. Machia, so what are they gonna do? Die. That's exactly die.
Machia, PLF. They got everybody.
Die. Yeah. And I still refuse to believe they got all of the PLF. 100,000 people? Yeah, I don't believe it.
That is absolute.
I don't believe
that's absolute.
No. It was stated they only got like 16,000, so they're still like 80,000 plus.
Well, no, they said that no. They say they rounded everybody up.
Throughout the country.
Yeah, I'll look for it, but they said they rounded everybody up. I'm gonna look for it right now.
No. They said they hit their strongholds. That doesn't mean that all of the PLF members were at the strongholds. I am 100%.
And didn't they say like 32 or 132 or something like that?
Yep, the 132 generals. When Machia was rampaging in that straight line to Shigaraki, there was like this like mini squad of lieutenants that was like following in his wake, and I believe those are the PLF lieutenants that got away.
Okay.
I just refuse to believe.
Their bases scattered around the country were hit too, and their sympathizers were rounded up.
I don't believe it was all of them. I'm sticking to that for now, even if I sound foolish.
I don't think it's all of them, but still, like, if they captured all of them, that would be terrible because you created an insane number of
Twitchy not crazy. I'm reading it right now. Twitchy not crazy. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Destro, Geeton, Trumpet, and other members of the Paranormal Liberation Front in attendance at the assembly. We're also captured in 17,000 people. That's all I'm gonna say. However, Gigantamaki's rampage allowed 132 of them to escape, including high-ranking advisors. So at least 132 plus more. Their bases scattered around the country were hit too. So I was just incorrect. So no, yeah, you got it. Well, I not incorrect. I just said I refuse to believe it. No, I mean, not incorrect.
Well, and even if they were captured, going back to like the start of our conversation, if All For One and Shiggy wreak havoc on Tartarus, there's no prison to take them to anymore.
Exactly, which is what I mentioned.
I mean,
so the villains won by.
It depends on how much.
Like
Tartarus was the capture the flag that the heroes could not afford to lose, and they got whopped in one chapter.
You know what's crazy? Like they don't have any big boss guarding Tartarus, as we can see so far.
Like
they don't have what?
Like they don't have like no dragon of the deep or something guarding Tartarus, like a weird animal. That's why I hope these next few chapters show something like that, because that is another thing that I got on my Slender Pack waiting. I got that in my Slender Pack waiting. Because I do have
something I wanted to mention.
That's just like a water serpent or something under Tartarus as extra security.
Like that's supposed to be. This is Tartarus. How do y'all not have a monster guarding Tartarus? This is Tartarus.
I feel like that happens a lot.
One thing I wanted to mention was essentially like something you guys.
You said this happens a lot in what?
Which is guidance.
Like in shows.
It don't happen in One Piece.
I don't know. Like I feel like I can't even pinpoint it, but I feel like I've seen that like before.
What? That people like pull up and then breaks from people out, and then there's nobody to help. Like nobody to help the side of the prison side.
Yeah, it's like hella underwhelming. You know?
It didn't happen.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen.
Granted, this whole compound is called the Anti-Quirk compound. So I'm sure that they have a ton of machinery, which we've already seen.
Trash.
They've got the use of lethal force, which we've already seen. And they also have some heroes that were destroyed by Shigaraki, which, you know, that was a little bit disappointing, but
they were wanted to say one.
All of the whole breaking in. See, I don't mind. The reason why I said this chapter was a 7 because I don't mind seeing the older people is what brought it to a 7. But the actual prison break itself, that shit, I wasn't excited for that shit. These random robots shooting other random Nomus, ain't no fucking bosses, no shit like that. Like who? Like I understand. We got these anti-crime person.
I just think the heroes are out of resources. They sent all of the heroes to war, and they have the skeleton crew at Tartarus because they thought they could get away with it.
They should have a fucking warden at Tartarus, is what I'm saying.
You know,
they ain't got no damn warden. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not putting it past Horikoshi to introduce like a superhero.
I'm waiting on that. That's all I'm saying. That's why I was like, That's why I'm not specifically saying I already hate it. But it's like if this whole thing goes on and like them robots and these Joe Schmo ass fucking police officers with guns was the only ones that was protecting niggas, like All For One, Stain, like nah, that's ass. That's just ass.
But hold on.
But you know what? Wait.
We have to. Go ahead, Portia.
Okay. I was about to say, like, just one little point. But, like, you know what I think, though? I honestly think, like, we need, like, a lore drop on Tartarus itself. Like, we need to know more about Tartarus itself, because we don't have that. But also, I really want to know what the Hero Commission is doing right now, because, like, I got questions.
No, but what I was going to say is you have to appreciate how much it took to make this one chapter invasion of Tartarus possible. It took, and I'm not joking, 2 All For Ones. They had 1 All For One under control. It was only when a second All For One with a shared consciousness so that they could have a pincer attack from the inside and the outside simultaneously with nearly high-end Nomus. That was the only way that Tartarus fell.
And it's crazy. So it's crazy that they still. It's crazy to me that they still ain't got nobody crazy. Like they should have people guarding Tartarus. I understand that. The fact that they just don't have people guarding Tartarus and they know what All For One can do is wild.
Yeah. So
I actually have something in mind, but I think I'll go last after Sherm and Vontae go.
Yeah. I don't got nothing. I was just saying, like, exactly. It ain't nothing. Like, yeah, they need to have some kind of guard, some kind of warden there, because that don't make sense. A very, very high security.
Even if you don't want to call it a prison institution, this is Tartarus.
Mm-hmm. But do y'all know, like, that quote where it's like soft men make hard times and hard times make strong men? I think that's what's happening in My Hero. Everyone got soft because All Might, and so now they got to pick up and like.
As far as I know, they never had a ward in the first place. And like he said, that's not an excuse at all.
No, there's actually a Greek mythology reference that you guys skipped over, which we actually mentioned earlier, but I don't think anybody realizes like the stake of that particular thing. I think she brought up the Gyges and Briareus. In Greek mythology, the Hecaton Kyries or the 100-handed monsters were actually
they got
wardens or weapons created to guard Kronos or the Titans in Tartarus. They're essentially like weapons specifically designed to take down Titans or like villains that gods could handle.
But these weapons got one panel. They got one. Yeah. These robots got one panel. If they supposed to mean all of that.
I ain't see 100 hands.
Can you really plan for the fact that you have Nomus that literally sponge bullets that are essentially zombies and 2 All For Ones?
You have one All For One in the prison. Mm-hmm. You already had that guy there.
They had him under control for the past 6 months.
Because All Might beat his ass, and like he's in a situation where he can't literally use his quirk at all. Because he would have been shot
to death immediately. They had the necessary technology to hold him down for 6 to 9 months. Would have been shot to death.
Who said that? Where? How? Who? How?
What?
When did they mention he would have been shot to death?
When he said, if I literally think about using my quirk, I would be killed. When he had that same conversation with All Might.
But we know that he was lying about that conversation.
No, he wasn't lying. In this chapter specifically, he said you were partly right, All Might. I could not get out unless I had the help from myself from the outside.
But listen. I understand that it's like sure, he'd have been shot to death. But it's like that's if that is what you're putting all your stocks into, guns for All For One, the guy that All Might couldn't kill on multiple occasions. Y'all putting y'all stocks into these people? That don't make sense to me. It just doesn't. You're putting all y'all stocks in just that, and y'all don't have somebody that could just like least rumble with your guy. Nobody.
It was holding him off until he was going to go to trial and then be executed.
And you got to take into consideration too, like what if people try to come get him?
Because even as you said, he already had this plan coming to do the inside and outside thing, so it wasn't even really holding him off. And then exactly what I said was gonna.
It was definitely holding him off. Who could have possibly have hypothesized that they were able to copy quirks? And not only that they were able to copy quirks.
Who in their right minds is just like, I want to know who in their right minds is just like, oh, you know what? We got it. All For One, we just got them, man. We just got them, bro. We don't need nobody to be able to help just in case something happens. No, we got these guns. We'll shoot them to death. Don't worry. It's just All For One.
I still think there's a warden or there's a primary hero that we have not seen.
Hopefully.
And I'm waiting on that. And if it's not, I got this slander pack ready.
Yeah, because I'll be
Shigaraki take down the communication tower when he came, like in that panel where he touches the ground and the tower breaks down. I think that was one of the reasons they were like that, plus the EMP was one of the reasons they weren't able to communicate and process orders to each other. Is because the main tower that we see Gaijis and Briaris talking to the dude in the tower before that whole thing happens. I think that tower is the one that got taken down, right? Disintegrated in this chapter.
But there's a lot of it. There's explosions and shit going on. You should be able to hear it. There's explosions and shit going on.
Like just going up and disintegrating it isn't as exciting to me. Like I understand it needed to be a counterattack, but do you remember in the first podcast when we talked about the traitor invisible rule walking in and unlocking cells, and that's the reveal? That's what like that is peak.
Where is it?
That was peak jailbreak. That was peak jailbreak.
I mean, sure, that would have been cool, but if we also remember to this chapter when we didn't know that they had the use of lethal force if prisoners stepped outside of their cells. If Toga or Hagakure were unlocking cells, they would see that.
They also have sensors set up everywhere.
That too.
Which is why they use the EMP. The EMP, I'm pretty sure the EMP took out not only the sensors within the cell, but also the robots outside. Because most of them are powered by electricity. Right? And most of them robots were powered by electricity, which we see in the first entrance exam or whatever. So it made sense that there was an EMP shock wave that kind of like took down. Plus taking down the communication tower and having both the consciousness simultaneously work together is what helped them escape. Because it was all of 3 seconds before the power booted up, and in that 3 seconds they escaped.
And it's like, I mean, it's just crazy that like nobody had a plan for a power outage. That's crazy. Like nobody had a plan for a power outage.
You gotta be on top of everything.
It's only All For One. It's just like I said, it's just All For One. Power outage, smaller outage.
That's trivializing it a little bit, but
I don't think it. See, but it's like you're. This is All For One.
Yeah,
it's like come on. It's like this is the top gun of the villains, and you just like fuck it. We got this guy in this chair. We good. We're sorry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got.
And you gotta take in consideration.
It's like we got this situation under wraps.
Break them out.
That, like the fact
that they had a backup.
I think it was.
They had a backup generator. They mentioned saying the power
you guys
in 3 seconds, and then they shut down.
I think you guys are underplaying like the importance of this moment with 2 All For Ones. Like Tartarus, how much can you expect from it? It is a supermax facility that was able to hold down 1 All For One. How much more can you ask from a supermax prison from a guy who has all of the quirks?
But he has somebody that follows him.
He got all these people that follow him.
He wasn't broken up in 9 months.
But it's like he's still up out of here now, and like what and what they did didn't matter. So I get it. I get what you're saying, but what they did still, in the end of the day, still didn't matter. It's like if we don't know what they have to do for All For One and stuff like that, other than the bullshit that didn't matter. That did, yes, it held him for 6 months, but it's like not even days. Whenever when All Might went to go talk to him for the first time, he even said himself, "Yeah, I'm only in here for now." We ain't even have no semblance of an idea that this is gonna happen. He knew that he was gonna break out of here. They should have been sus of that boy, because that boy been smiling in there for 6 to 9 months. He was smiling there for so long. He told all he even said, like, come on, man. He knew that he was gonna get out of here. So it's like, how did they not have no sus of him getting out? That's crazy to me.
It goes to the backlog to where it was a race for the legality of it, to where they were gonna put him on trial and then legally execute him. They just ran out of time.
Yeah, so one thing I wanted to address is the fact that Tartarus is designed by non-quirked individuals to contain quirked individuals.
And now the quirked individuals are out.
Yeah, because like, if you're designing a quirk, an anti-quirk prison, right? How are you going to control anti-quirk? How are you going to control quirked individuals and call it an anti-quirk prison, but have like here's the thing. I remember, I'm pretty sure I have a decent idea of what All For One's cell looked like when he was locked up and like tied up and everything. He had like 2 machine guns or something pointed at him within the cell, as well as like a fiberglass and like a bunch of shit, like thick iron steel walls and stuff.
And he was still smiling.
There was nothing else. Yeah, he was still smiling. But the thing is, they did have a backup generator for it. But that's like the most a ordinary human can think of, right? Like, all humans cannot think of the possibility of what quirked individuals would put.
I disagree.
I literally said, I was saying that they should have a powerful warden. That person would have a quirk. I don't think. Why do we think this? Why do we think only quirkless people made this? Like only quirkless people worked on Tartarus? Why? That don't make sense to me.
Well, they also mentioned the fact that Tartarus is sort of like the darker part of society. So we don't know who is at the top, whether it is a warden or potentially, I know this is kind of a throwback for us specifically,
is people gonna get out of that.
This might be the hero commission.
Maybe Tartarus is actually a person.
About that. I was about to say, what if like just somebody that's like
back to the commission at the end of the day,
double crossing Hero Society or something.
I think that's too long. Or Tartarus is actually a person.
That was the tinfoil hat theory that I had, Portia, that Tartarus itself was an entity.
If the Hero Commission is behind Tartarus, it proves my theory that they're just bumbling idiots.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, Term.
I'm pretty sure the Hero Commission.
As far as I'm concerned, either Horikoshi can't write or all of them are fucking retarded, because it's like we just didn't have an extra plan. We just didn't have an extra plan for All For One. They just didn't have an extra plan for All For One. I hear you. They just didn't have an extra plan, and no matter what, they just keep it to me.
It didn't have a plan for 2 All For Ones. That was it.
It's like whatever else.
It's still All For One, but it's still All For One's plan. It's still All For One in there. They didn't have another plan for just in case he got out. They did not have another plan. I get what you're saying.
We're kind of going in circles, so
they didn't have a plan. They did not have a plan for this man. They didn't. They had a plan. They didn't have a backup just in case it stopped.
I feel like they did.
They did have one, and it didn't work. They had one plan, and then they not have another plan. That's what I said. They did not have another plan.
What the Hero Commission wanted him to break out, like.
That's the only answer I can see if they just,
that's what it sounds like to me.
That's the only thing
they gotta want to break out. They don't got no security. They got they security are niggas with guns.
On that point, Grin, I wanted to just kind of pose this question and see what you guys think of this as well. Why was all of the criminals of society put in one place?
Exactly, that's something I don't get. Like, you should have multiple prisons for such high-level tier villains. Like,
I feel like this is just where the worst of the worst is, but there are other prisons. Well, they just didn't mention any
Okay,
other.
so
They just
even
didn't
if these
mention
are the worst of the worst, why are you putting all of the worst in the same place?
You ain't doing
Because
nothing.
that's not
All I'm saying is this.
all
This does is help my point because you got all for one in there.
No,
you
it
need to
helps
have
my point. What are you talking about?
You got all for one. Listen.
Listen.
You got all for one in there. And then you got all these other people in there. It's like, all right, so we got a plan for all for one. It's just like, how are we gonna have? You don't have nobody that can even control these people. As soon as one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong.
Yet it's stated in this chapter that whoever goes into Tartarus never emerges alive. I think they've got them under control.
That ain't all for one. All for one emerge alive.
They never.
That's not all for one. You talk about these fodder. You talk about these other fodder.
I keep saying that.
You talk about these other fodder. They got motherfuckers like all for one, overhaul, stain, electric bitch, muscular. They got all these niggas in here and nobody that can handle it. And nobody that can handle it. They said shoot him dead on sight. Muscular said, you're not killing him with that bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, come on, man. You got all these people in here and nobody that can handle it. You got all these people in here and nobody that can handle it. That's wild.
Yeah. And on top of that, the possibilities of people coming in to break whoever out, you know?
That's what I'm saying. It's
crazy
like,
ass people here.
They don't have plans for none of this. That's just
so
goofy to me.
They're just gonna have to
there's something huge. There's some kind of warden or something. It gotta be. It has to be, because I would just.
I would hope so. If not, like I said, Vontae, I would hope so. And if not, I got this slander pack ready. Click clack, click clack.
Yeah, if not, I was like, whatever. But
I think there's a reason it's called the anti-quirk prison, and we have still a lot more to see of Tartarus. I don't think we've seen all of it yet. They might face some unexpected difficulties while escaping.
I've given it that wiggle room. I keep saying if it's not, I've given it the proper wiggle room. It's still just a 7. It can rise. It can fall. It's probably gonna fall. It can rise.
Maybe I should type out that theory I have about.
I agree with you.
You ain't gonna do shit with it anyway.
Why wouldn't they put quirked individuals in different quirk prisons? Why choose to put them all in the same prison unless the Hero Commission was behind that rule and saying that, you know what, we want all of this, we want all of them to be placed in this prison because we know that eventually somewhere down the line in the future
I think it's
they're going to break out and take down the whole society.
That prison better be an entity.
I just think it's because they're incompetent.
The future, the Hero Commission.
What if they have a nuclear option and they can just sink the whole damn prison into the ocean?
I'm waiting.
Most of it's already in the ocean.
Whatever, any of your what ifs, I'm waiting. That's all. I'm waiting.
I'm just saying, I think it's still possible for a lot of these what ifs to come true.
Definitely.
And I'm giving it the wiggle room. And I keep saying I agree. Until I see that, I got the slander pack ready.
Here's the thing, All For One says that we know that the lowest level was 500 meters under the water, and in that pressure, All For One even says that even if he broke out by himself, he would not survive. I'm pretty sure that's then the translation in the.
He was saying if he had Gigantomachia with him, all he would do is just crush himself underneath the water pressure.
Yeah, it wouldn't he wouldn't be able to survive. That's the only reason why he had to have Shigaraki on the outside to escape. Because if he tried breaking out by himself, him as well as anybody in the lower levels or something would get annihilated just because of the sheer pressure of water. So that in itself is a kind of guard for most villains. Because just imagine, Muscular breaks out, where's he gonna go? He'll get crushed by water and just flood an entire level of the prison.
Kuro Giri Guro Giri is right in there.
Unconscious.
Just fucking wake up. He's right there. Come on, we got all these villains right here. We got you got his whole squad villains right here.
Kurogiri is not available. Please try again later.
No. And it has forcible quirk activation.
Oh yeah, forcible quirk. We got 2 people with forcible quirk activation. Continue.
Yeah, Shum, no, go ahead. Shum, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, no, I was just saying forcible quirk activation for Kurogiri, but I've got to get to bed, so I will.
Hey, closing thoughts. Yeah, we said closing thoughts fucking 35 minutes ago. let me let you first, Sherm. Let's get them closing thoughts, King.
Yeah, no.
Or if you had any, my bad.
Closing thoughts. I just appreciate being here with all y'all and hearing all y'all's different ideas. So,
boxing match number 12.
Yeah, it was all over the place today.
Royal Rumble was hitting
different points.
Royal Rumble was hitting.
Free for all.
I feel like
that's a Royal Rumble, the same thing.
We're gonna have some issues trying to get Kurogiri out because his room specifically is designed for him not to be able to walk out of it.
I vibe with it. Anybody else?
Because
oh no, you ain't done.
No, I'm done. Because like that would make sense. Because if he could just walk out of it, he would have been gone. Like there's no way they capture him, right?
Well, that's not really what I'm saying. What I was saying with like the warp thing is just like we're already in this situation right now. I wasn't saying let's warp out right now. We're already in the breaking out situation. It's like we're in that situation.
There might be a reason why they call it the anti-quirk prison. Maybe because quirks don't activate inside the prison. Maybe only on the outside, which is why
we saw Muscular using his quirk. We saw Electric Homegirl using her quirk. Well, we saw Gaia using her quirk.
That was after the EMP hit, right? That was after the EMP hit.
Correct. That was when they were out of their cells.
And
it was after the EMP hit.
And they still using.
So
see what I'm saying? But they still using their quirks though. That's what I'm saying. But they're using their quirks literally right now.
You can't put all your eggs in one basket.
They're using their quirks literally right now. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so yep, I got 296 at like a 6.5, 297 at a solid 10 for the Greek mythology. Hashtag Gaia, and I hope to see you guys sooner rather than later, since I know we're going on a wee bit of a hiatus here.
Oh yeah, might be on a wee bit of a hiatus. You know what I'm saying? That's how work things be. None of our schedules well, my schedule don't line up with people's anymore because my job said fuck you. So it might be a good grip before we, you know what I'm saying, have another podcast. So you know what I'm saying, we know we love y'all, but it might be, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be a little hiatus. You know what I'm saying, Togashi gang, you feel me? I don't be streaming. I might have to be night stream gang, which whatever. But whatever. Anybody else got some closing thoughts? Friendos, Portia.
I said mine already. I'm going to write everything out and post it because I'm lazy.
I don't think she is, but Vontae?
All that guys at Shigaraki gonna kill All For One.
Talk to him, King.
It will happen.
Ooh.
Seal of approval.
Ooh. He said it will happen. Love that comment.
Just look at that last panel. Like, I don't know.
That's what we bought the box panel. You see, you know how it be, Vontae. You know how it be in the hood when they got their hands out. Like that's the all for one doing that. But
it's just like a big clue. Just seeing Shigaraki there and then All For One there. I don't know.
Oh, so you're approaching me.
Exactly
it's
what
not
that panel is.
Like literally
what that panel is. So you're
know,
approaching me? That's exactly what that is. They pulling up. John Taro and Dio. They pulling up. That's what that is.
I think the more Shigaraki fights All For One, the more All For One's going to take control of Shigaraki.
Nah, he won't.
I don't want that to happen. I don't want the thing, All For One to be the villain because that
Shiggy's Deku's fight
because they already they took the trope they took that trope, ran with it, and didn't do anything special with it. So I just don't. I just don't want that. I just don't want it. Unless maybe in the next few chapters they'll do something special with it. But as far as I'm concerned right now, it's a big nada. But no, I think everybody got their closing thoughts in. Somebody tell me if they didn't. All right. No, it was a fun ass one. I feel like every week I say this is my favorite, but you know what I'm saying? Well, every time we did a podcast, I feel like one of those, I always say that this one was my favorite. And I'm saying I'm saying it.
That's sweet.
What? That don't even make sense. But that don't make sense. That you just love to say that. I don't know why you like to say that so much, but you do. You love to say that. Everything is just sweet. But it was dope. It was, like I said, more boxing. It was my favorite. The one that we did the most boxing is sweet. That don't make fun podcast. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Y'all real as hell. Stream. I appreciate y'all for coming through as well because I'm ending it all at the same time. So. what are they called? Premiere Gang. Those of y'all that put up for the YouTube premiere, appreciate y'all for coming through. Y'all real. Let me get a hashtag Premiere Gang in the chat. Twitch Gang, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Y'all real as hell. We be doing these on late notice because listen, man, we don't even know when we gonna be doing these. So it was fun. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Appreciate y'all for watching the video. If you wasn't here for the premiere for the stream, you know we stream these, you know we premiere these. So appreciate y'all. And y'all have a good one.